Crypto.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome back. Only a little bit late today. Almost was going to do it tomorrow morning, but I figured because of what's happening, I should just talk about it now, even though what I say now could be completely useless in like 2 hours. That's the other case for doing it tomorrow, because this is madness. This is the moment. Like this chart up here symbolizes everything. If this breaks down, it's over. Like, we're fucked. Any movement from that is a bearish retest, and then we're just heading lower. What is Trump gonna do tomorrow? Let me just teleport into the future, and then I'll come back and tell you. I wish I knew. I have no idea. Hi Kevin. Hello Gills. Hello Archery. I'm okay. A bit tired. Started a new training program this week, so my moved from like strength to a hypertrophy program, and yeah, I'm having trouble walking ever since I did like 100 reps of squats on Tuesday. So other than that, and the market, being absolute dog poop, I'm great. I have all of my body parts and everything works, so I can't complain too much. Hello Ucha, good to see you. I guess we'll just jump right in. I want to talk about a couple things that are happening today. I'm sure you guys have seen everyone talking about the USD JPY connection, right? So because this is apparently dumping, that's why the rest of the market's dumping. I mean, you can see when this topped January 10th, it pretty much correlates to when the market topped. Actually, the market stopped going up around December, and that's kind of when JPY stopped going up. And then we really got our first dump the second week of January, and that's actually, we went up a bit during that time. But it supposedly, this is the reason people are saying why the market is dumping. I think it's part of it. I think you have to take a holistic approach, and there's a lot of things going on. I do find it interesting that even though Trump just announced, I saw an announcement just came out that he's delaying a lot of the tariffs with Mexico for a month, which shows that he's doing exactly what he said that he would do, which is use the tariffs as a negotiating tactic. I mean, look, so tariffs on Mexico and Canada. Canada and Mexico, I don't know if anybody saw, I'm sure you guys saw the Zelensky exchange, right? Where he said, you don't have the cards. You don't have the cards. You have no cards. And he said, I'm not playing cards. Well, little does he know that Trump is playing cards with everyone. And the thing is, nobody has the cards. Only he does. So what he's doing is leveraging the cards that he has to get these countries to do what he wants. And that's because Mexico and Canada are basically destroyed if these tariffs go through. They're just, the economies are wrecked. But the U.S. is fine because Canada and Mexico only make up like 2% of the U.S.'s economy. It's almost nothing. It's negligible. While for Canada and Mexico, it's a massive impact. So they have to come to the negotiating table and agree to things that normally they would not agree to. So you can see Canada is pushing back hard, and that's going in the wrong direction, while Mexico is not. And that allowed them to delay by a month because the Mexican president probably, did what Trump likes, and that's, say he's the best and those kind of things, and let him win. You just let him win. At least let him think he's winning, and then he'll give you a better deal. Now, I'm surprised the market didn't pump on that, even a little bit. So I'm a little bit disappointed that we didn't see a pump on that, the delaying of the Mexican tariff news, which makes me lean towards this is a bit of a JPY thing. But then If it's a JPY thing, look at this. This is a nice divergence here. We're creating a nice little divergent bottom. On the weekly chart, we've got a TD8 that's come in. This is an ugly trend line here. This doesn't look that bad. We're just sitting at support. This hasn't broken down. So this is all like fear mongering, essentially. I think this hasn't fully fallen apart. Now, on the other hand, the S&P is, I don't like what it's doing here. Okay, I don't like this. I don't want to see this. Now this was good. This was also good. This is bad. We don't want this. Now what? I mean, let's. I feel like Groundhog Day the last 3 days, because what we get is the open and a huge dump, and then by actually around this time, it pumps. So same thing here, huge dump, and then right at midnight my time, it pumps. So now we did the same thing, except we had like a mini pump and then a dump. And now it's midnight. So if it's following the pattern, we should do this. Theoretically. If they want to save this and they don't want it to crash yet, it has to be saved here. I don't see a way. I don't see a way to keep this going if you let it drop below the 200-day moving average. I just don't see it. I think there's enough fear already. Investor sentiment still shit. People are super fearful. Does that mean they're selling? I'm not sure, because a lot of people I see posting they're buying, and that concerns me. Like, there's massive fear, yes, but the question is, what are people doing with their money? So we also have crypto. Crypto's interesting because it's at like a 25 here. Yesterday was a 20, the day before 15. I guess because Bitcoin pumped a bit, but still in the extreme fear down to 2025 that we haven't had since like 2022. It's basically 2022 levels, which is crazy considering where Bitcoin is. Another thing I wanted to touch on, and this is all holistic, right? This all comes together, and we're going to bring it back to the S&P. So just keep that in mind. I always talk about the Treasury general accounts. It's getting drawn down, right? Because we have the debt ceiling. They did some shenanigans here, so the drawdown actually stopped, and we're at the same level. And then reverse repo spiked massively. So net liquidity effect is minimal. From these two, we don't have much of a net liquidity effect. If we look at my liquidity matrices, I have two of those. Global liquidity 2.0. This one's global, and then I have the other one that's just like US liquidity. Where's my other one? Okay. Even though it says global, but it's not really. So huge spike in global liquidity here. This is big. I have to do something with what happened in Germany. And then we've got to move up here. So we can see, right? Everything's kind of, let's line this stuff up. Let's see how this all lines up. So this was our pause. And then we paused, and then everything rallied, and now it's coming back. But liquidity's pushing up. So assuming if this line can continue, then I don't see why the market wouldn't reverse to follow that liquidity. Same here. Like I said, same kind of big liquidity line. We can see if we can line it up a bit better. All right. So usually, sometimes it leads, sometimes it follows. But you can see here we had a big dump, right? So then we're dumping, and now we're moving up. And this doesn't always line up perfectly. Sometimes there's a delay. Sometimes it happens later. Sometimes it happens sooner. But generally it follows. So this is a good sign for an upside move, along with the fact that we're sitting at support on the Japanese yen. We've got an 8 on TD8. So not bad. Bitcoin's being annoying. I'll talk about it later. But this is the main thing. I don't want to see this keep dropping. I want to see a reversal. It needs to reverse. That's what has to happen. We can go down the lower time frames and kind of take a look, but I really don't think lower time frames work that well in this market right now. They just don't. There's too much news driving it. And I don't see, I'm not seeing a big positive correlation between what I'm seeing on like momentum, what I normally look at on these Momo indicators, and what's actually happening in the market. So I don't even like to look on these lower time frames, but what I can say is, you know, right here, obviously this is like divergence, support. So ideally price should bounce from here, but because it's just a 15-minute time frame, I don't give it that much credit. But we are taking out these lows. So if you want to take out the lows, you want to step everyone out, and then maybe it can reverse. Another thing that could help give us an idea of where the market's going to go in the short term could be looking at, right, options expiry tomorrow on the S&P. So max pain seems, what do they say it is? They're saying max pain is basically, max pain is 580. Oh, for 3.6 we want 3.7, right? That's the one that matters. They're saying still max pain is 580. So I would say it's 575 to 580. Those two. I would actually say like 578. And let's look at where we are on the SPY. Yeah, so we're at 572. We would have to get back up here, basically up here, to trigger max pain, which is what we want to see. So that's like about right here. Yeah, so I don't think, I'll be shocked if they let it drop here before this options expiry. I really will. I think this is a way to grab the last bit of longs before they move higher. But as of right now, I'll be honest, it looks really bad. But I'm going with this is a liquidity grab until it closes down here. So we've got an hour and a half to go. If it closes down here, then maybe it's game over. And I'm surprised. I didn't expect this to happen. I thought we would bounce for sure. This has been a pretty key level here for a while, and I thought that we had at least one more leg up. Just adjust this a little bit here. There we go. Yeah. So there's that. I'll be surprised if we close much lower than where we are now. What do you guys think? Are you guys bearish, bullish? What are you doing? Any thoughts? Or are you just like this? Maybe I'm too bullish. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be. This is a tough spot. But this is what I'm seeing from all the different metrics. Tons of calls, tons of puts. Why not have them all expire worthless about here? Let's see if we've got any news coming out. I don't see any big news. Some FOMC speaking. Okay, Trump speaking. Trump speaks every day. I wonder why. Sometimes they make it red and sometimes they make it orange. I wonder how that they determine which one it should be. Expecting unexpected as always. Okay, Nick is bearish. So Kevin is bullish. Short-term bearish, long-term bullish. Bearish. Kevin saying unpredictable. Expecting unexpected as always. Okay. Well, for me, I'm only going to turn bearish if this fully breaks down and dies. Then I'll turn bearish. But for now, I had expected one more leg up. Like boop. Right up here. And then chomp. That's what I was looking for. Did Trump cancel the bull run, or is he just doing this so that they can buy crypto cheaper? Maybe this is something about just wanting to get Bitcoin for cheap and buying everything down here. And the market, the like rest of the market is just like a side effect. It's possible, right? Yeah, so that's all I have on the S&P really. Look, we're bouncing. Look at that. There's my little bounce. Look at that. Screw you, everybody that's bearish. We're gonna go up. I honestly don't know. I don't know. I'm kidding. I have to see how this next 4 hour closes. But if this is the area we bounce from, upside target, let's look at it from like a bullish scenario here. Upside target is up here, 66,200 is 4.6, and that's the midpoint of this uptrend. And I expect us to sit around here and then move up one more somewhere over here, and then we roll over. Again, that assumes that this doesn't completely die. If it does, then just everything I'm saying is totally worthless. Okay, so there is my kind of what's the word for it? My disclaimer. Okay, if this happens, then this. If we break down from here, then this. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, like I said, if we close down here in this 5,700 area, then I'm gonna reconsider my bull case, and I'm gonna turn bearish, and I'm going to short any kind of retest, and I'll exit my longs that I bought down here, probably at a bit of a loss. But I'm hoping we break higher and we get one more leg up. But right now it does look bad. But I'm buying the fear. That's what I'm doing. I'm buying the fear. And this, if anybody was buying, this is what you would want. This kind of fast up and down movement, this creates maximum liquidity. So then market makers can load up, and then they can get that big move and make a lot of profit. They need huge volume in order to get their fills. They need volume like this. Without it, they're not going to be able to fill their orders. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so Tesla is one, right? I've been watching and talking about a lot. Can look at Tesla on like a weekly chart here. See how it basically died, and it's just been straight down. We do have a 7 printing. See that 7? There's your 7. 7 printing, which is good. And then on a daily, we had 7, 8, and 9 come in, a baby bounce, and then we rolled over with the rest of the market. We're in this downward channel here, which I could potentially, if I wanted to, expand it to out here, but I kind of like it this way. Tesla's a bear until we break out of this downtrend. And you can see even here, I've got 2 different RSIs. So there's this one. We're kind of on the other side of this one, forming a bottom, but we've got to break through this second RSI I have. Tesla's basically been a bear since December. So three months now of just bear on Tesla, which makes sense with the tariffs affecting car sales and the robotics business not really up and running yet. It's not a huge surprise, but I do think eventually this has to go up. I'm glad that I took a lot of profits up here. I've been adding on the way down all here. So the position is in a loss right now. I'm going to be totally honest. I'm in a loss. I don't like it. Sucks. But I think it's fine because it's a spot position. And I can buy more. I can. I am not right now. I've stopped. And I'm going to wait for further confirmation. But I was buying thinking we're going to bounce from this 200-day moving average. Now we're below the 200-day moving average. So I'm going to hold, and I will add to the position if I see some kind of further bullish confirmation, which I haven't seen yet. We're still in limbo. Until I see some kind of confirmation from here or something from here, I'm not touching anything else. I'm going to keep my cash, and I'm going to wait. Maybe we get, we've almost had the gap fill here, right? So this was a gap to 256, and then we've got the gap here at 217. So maybe I have to wait for both of those gaps to fill, and then I can consider adding some more longs. So Tesla, patience would be my recommendation with this one. And if you're on a 4-hour, you can see it's kind of trying to bottom, but as long as these higher time frames look this bad, it's going to be hard to reverse this downtrend. Look at how much it went down. It really dropped a lot in just a month. Look at this. It's the beginning of the month. 32%. That's big. It's almost like a meme coin or something. Although meme coins would do that in a day. So there is that. Oh. Yeah, on an hourly chart, maybe some divergence coming in compared to price action. But I stick to higher time frames for stuff like this. That's my thoughts on Tesla. Obviously, I have like Bitcoin miners and stuff that I'm watching. Which one do I want to talk about? Hold on. Let me look. I want to talk about any in particular. By the way, the second baby powder report will be coming out. I'm working on it. However, it's not easy to put these together looking at the higher time frame view, and especially with what's going on in the market with Trump. It's proving I'm not happy with the results that I'm getting and my write-ups when I go back and read it. So it's taking almost twice as long as I thought it would. But it is coming. And I will be talking about metals, kind of gold and silver, and then some crypto stuff and robotics, what I expect in the future with robotics. So it's going to be a big report on that kind of stuff. Hopefully you guys find it value added. A couple things that I'm looking at, speaking of like robotics and also chips. So semiconductors, daily semiconductors. This one has fallen off a cliff. So I am watching this, and it's something, actually it's something that showed up on our TRI screener. So I think in the report I'm going to include some stuff from the TRI screener, because now we're in this 78.6 area. So this is my buy zone. Now we're just waiting for some better structure to come in. Oh, I just need some nice structure. We can see this broke down. Now I just need some structure on the daily, and then we can consider buying. So that's something I'm watching. Another one, I've got a bunch of crypto miners. I've got Intel. We can look at maybe all these crypto miners look really bad. Absolutely just terrible disaster. Can look at iron to start. It's pretty bad though. I had a bull case where this was my bull case. The weekly trend is still intact, but we can see basically here it broke down. I was thinking this could be a false breakdown right here, and then we could get our bounce. It's not looking like that anymore. On a daily, we do have the 7, 8, and 9 that came in, but we could just get a bearish retest and then head lower. Obviously, this just depends on what's going to happen with Bitcoin. So all it is an ETF play on Bitcoin. That's really all it is. If Bitcoin goes up, then it'll go up. Bitcoin goes down, it'll go out down. Sometimes it's easier to just look at Bitcoin. PayPal. I'm watching PayPal. Yeah, of course. That's what I said. They're transitioning to a software robotics company. So, but there's mostly it's technicals. I don't think this would be happening if the rest of the market wasn't dumping. So PayPal, weekly downtrend also being broken here. Absolutely disaster. I expected a pullback and then a bounce and a move higher, and instead we're just getting nonstop dumping. That's basically what you're getting here. It's just nonstop crash. Tag the 61.8. I'd like to buy now that this is broken down. I'm going to wait until here for Tesla. This is where I would consider buying at this point. Yeah, so I've stopped buying any longs. If we don't bounce today, I'm going to have to close. I'm going to close some positions and then look at maybe entering some shorts. That's kind of my higher time frame view, and then I'll look to reaccumulate down here with a bunch of these names. That's my market strategy and kind of the two scenarios and what I'm looking at. I'm hoping I'm wrong and we get a bounce. I mean, I'm hoping we we stay bullish and these kind of bear scenarios are invalidated. Okay, let's get to crypto. That's what you guys really care about. Bitcoin. So I talked about in the past that, you know, Bitcoin did have this divergence forming on a weekly chart. Didn't look great. Like I showed with the miners, there is still kind of this long-term uptrend that we could look at. I don't think it works as well as when you say draw like this. I think this works better, but you still do have that, and I thought I would show it. These bounces on the weekly, these reversals are encouraging. This showed a lot of demand, both of these. The fact we're still above the 50-week moving average, that's a good sign. However, this daily is still in a downtrend. So until this breaks on the other side, I can't get crazy bullish about crypto. I just can't. Even with, well, I was. It's kind of like, how do I explain this? We're stuck in no man's land right now. So we're sandwiched between the 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average. We're just bouncing between that. And once it picks a side, it's going to move fast. With the global liquidity increasing, what we're seeing here and what I saw with the JPY, really all we need is the S&P to bounce. And if that happens, then Bitcoin should move out to the upside. However, if TradeFi rolls over, then Bitcoin's probably going to roll over too. And then we've got our downside targets. And these are our zones, right? 78.6 to 88.6. This area is where you could, you know, look to maybe buy. And it's going to be bad. That's disaster level if it heads down to there. We need price to bounce. But I mean, you can see this everywhere. Everyone's saying this. Really, like I said, what I'm saying here is not going to be valuable even like a day from now, because we'll know. I mean, by this Friday, this will be fully determined. This weekly can just not. It can't close like this. If it closes like this, that's it. Everything's killed. You know, back to I gotta go get the McDonald's job, right? So, you know, I think Trump knows that, and he's trying to diffuse the situation. Honestly, that's why he's putting out certain messages where I think he's trying to stop this from happening. Hence the comment about, you know, Mexico and stopping tariffs and stuff like that. Okay, BTCD. So BTCD is an interesting one. I do think that we broke down from the uptrend, and I think alts will outperform. I've got some like these two Momo indicators are not agreeing. So while RSI is showing that it should roll over, MACD is actually looking bullish, and it looks like it could break out higher. So I'm getting conflicting signals with the two momentum indicators. But going with RSI, it seems like in previous location areas, and if we look at like a weekly chart and the divergence on the weekly and this big candle and reversal, it looks like altcoins, if we do have a bull move, altcoins should outperform Bitcoin. And I talked about this last week. I know a lot of like people that are not really traders, but they kind of buy and sell, but they don't do any technicals or anything. A lot of them got out of altcoins the last month. They said no more altcoins, only Bitcoin. So it'd be hilarious if Bitcoin, if the altcoins then went and massively outperformed Bitcoin, that would be funny. And it's what I could see happening here. Okay, Solana, it's just gonna follow Bitcoin for the most part. Still bearish on a weekly chart. Broke out on a daily, had the brief breakout, but because that higher time frame weekly chart is still bearish, it's kind of hard to, you know, have some kind of sustained upside momentum, especially with everything else dragging it down. So not great there. It's basically the same across the board. I don't even know what to say about any of these. Like, this is bearish. This weekly is just embedded to the downside. It doesn't, I mean, there's nothing. Market's just sitting here seeing, okay, can it be saved? Can the S&P move up? Or are we getting a massive breakdown? And if the answer is yes, we're getting a massive breakdown, then all of this is probably going to head a bit lower. Like, optimism's going to head lower. It's going to probably take out everything and head down to like 60 cents or something. Maroon's going to roll over, and we're probably going to go to like 80 cents, maybe lower, 70 cents. Just take out these lows and go back to the beginning here, October 2020, 60 cents. That could happen. It's just consolidating and waiting and seeing, do we have one last dump and then we can move up, or can we move up from here? And right now it's looking like yeah, one more dump. I don't really have much else to say. We can look at the others index. So this is on the other side of my, this should be bullish. So in any kind of other condition, this was a massive bull signal. These are W's forming, a bottom is being put in. But I think because the weekly is so bad, it's having trouble kind of forming that bottom. This is very bearish momentum. You do have a 7 that's come in. That's good. But we could sit down here for a while. And like I said, we could take out fresh lows. So this is, if the S&P rolls over, we could do this and head down here and take out maybe these lows quickly. So that's how much of a drop is that? Another 25%. I don't see why it couldn't happen. So just be prepared for that potential scenario. Have spare cash. Oh, you asked for Ethereum. Yeah, we can look at Ethereum. But it's the same, right? Nothing really yet. Still in a downtrend. I mean, kind of have to look at the fibs going all the way back to the lows here, right? Back in 2022, where we've been sitting at the 61.8 fib, but if the market breaks down, we're going to quickly go to 78.6, 1,600, maybe do a quick to 1,003. That's kind of becomes your next box. So right now you're in this box, like here, actually 2,200 to 2,560. And if this breaks down, then you go to the 1,700 to like 1,300 box. And that's your next range where you can consider accumulating. That's really it. Yeah, I mean, this isn't good. This isn't the scenario that I was personally hoping for. I wish I held my shorts. I was in a lot of shorts, a lot back here, but I quickly exited most of my shorts up here, right here, and on Tesla also. Even Tesla way earlier than that. So I've just been buying longs. So I'm long. Yeah, but if we don't bounce, then I have to exit, look for exit on any kind of bounce we get, and then look to enter some shorts, and then eventually, you know, see where I'd want to get long work in this reverse. And if we look at this, and we assume that this is kind of our bottom, and we just had a confirmed, we confirm an M top, where do we buy? And where do we take profits? So this would kind of be, I mean, you have the 50-week moving average here. So 5,600 might be you might get a bounce here. So you go to here, you might get a bounce to the other side to 6,000, and then you roll over, and then we could go down to 38.2. That would be your kind of your next level. So something like that I could see happening if we don't bounce at all. Like it's 1 p.m. You've got 3 more hours. It needs to bounce. If it can't, then yeah, this is the scenario you're looking at. Big House asks for PLTR. We can take a look. Yeah, it's just barely intact. Uptrend just barely intact. 7, 8, and 9 came in, but it still keeps kind of rolling over. Totally dependent on what happens with S&P. Everything is dependent on this, which is just a culmination of 500 things, right? So all those 500 things together need to turn bullish. But for now, this doesn't look good to me. There's nothing here that really should get you too excited. Could we could do something like this, right? ABCD. You go down to $50. Is there a gap down there? 42. So maybe 200, go to the 200-day moving average around 52. Fill the gap. There's a gap down to 42. So maybe in this area. Right around here would be maybe a decent support level. There's a gap here also that was never filled. Let me look at a weekly. Yeah, I think at least to 40 to 50 would make sense. It's already sitting at 38.2, so this would be the 61.8. But I like to buy right down here at 78.6 and 88.6. So that would be actually 200-week moving average. Yeah, so 31. Maybe 31. It's quite a haircut. All the way down here, 31, 60% drop. Could happen. But I'm not saying sell right now. I want to see how this closes. But it looks like I don't know how this is saved. I have no idea at this point. Like now it's just kind of wishful thinking. Because this just looks like a disaster. I didn't expect it to die this bad. But the market does crazy things. So it could still bounce. I'm just yeah. I wish I had a better answer for you guys. I almost didn't want to do the show today because I knew that I would have to Am I back? Yeah, okay. I lost the audio because I hit my mic. As I was saying, I almost didn't want to do the show today because I knew that I would have to be kind of negative about where the market's going. It's not good. Gold. Yeah. All right. Last one, gold, and then I'm going to call it a night, I think. Just keep in mind that normally if the market crashes, gold normally crashes with it. We all just need to use TRI TLSI welcome pullbacks. Yeah, I mean the Pro Tools are actually pretty good. I was playing with it this past week, and I like using the screeners. They gave me some decent signals, but just so you know, if you're looking for longs right now, there's not that many signals. I was trying to look for longs, and I'm like, why am I getting almost no signals? Hello, Brian. Yeah, so gold right now, the monthly is trying to turn around. Gold's a very slow long-term thing. We hit the 2.618. Oh, sorry, this is silver. Silver first. We've been bouncing off this 2.618. The eventual target is up here at 48, which is the old high. And it's slowly advancing, right? So it helps that the dollar's had extreme weakness. But I think we're stuck. We're kind of stuck in this zone. It's just ranging right now. I don't really have. We're stuck in this box. You can buy at the low of the box, like below 30, and then sell at 33. Until we want, but once we break out, we should move very quickly. Right now, we're just stuck in that box. Very, very strong performance, though. I would have expected with this weekly breakdown here, I would have expected more of a pullback, but it reversed. Very, very bullish signal with that. But on a daily chart, we also had a breakdown. And then the question is this a bit of a bearish retest? And then we're going to break down further. It's possible. If the market rolls over, this could roll over with it. I am surprised by how weak the market is, considering, have you guys looked at DXY? Like, the dollar just totally crashed, and yet the market crashed at the same time. That's how bad it is. Like, you shouldn't have a negative dollar and negative equities. You can mention it in the Discord. I don't really like to talk about random things I've never heard of on the stream. Need to just, yeah, sometimes you need to just not trade and wait. Always somewhere to participate. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's why I'm saying, like, have spare cash. I have spare cash. And why I also buy a lot of spot. For my large portfolios, I don't trade any kind of leverage. I don't trade options, because then you're under pressure to perform, and you can't really, and if you're wrong, you get hurt. You can get hurt pretty bad, unless you're just using like 0.5% of your portfolio or even less. And I prefer to just use spot, because then if I'm wrong, I can get stopped out and it doesn't hurt that much, or I can just hold it and add to the position on the way down. And I do that for different positions. Like with Tesla, I know it's not going to go out of business suddenly, so I'm okay for it to roll over, and I'll dollar cost average. Hopefully that explains my general strategy. We looked at silver. Can look at gold really quick. It's going to be kind of similar. Yeah, so obviously it's in a bullish uptrend. We had a 9 come in on the weekly. Strong bullish uptrend still. Hit the 2.618. I thought we did reject momentarily. Now we're moving above it. Final target is 3,700. It is in this long-term uptrend here. Something like that. It's just gonna be in this kind of channel. I would say buy when you're at the midpoint or the lows of the channel, and then sell at the high, and you can just do that all the way up. And it's gonna just slowly, it seems to be the slope. So by, this continues by 2026, sometimes summer 2026, we should be at like 3,700, and that's maybe the area where we top, unless the central banks do something, print an insane amount of money, or there's some kind of other central bank policy that manipulates the price. Otherwise, if we're continuing on this path, then that's where things should end up. I am concerned about the 7, 8, 9. You do get pauses / pullbacks when that happens. So we could see some consolidation here. Just understand that this could be an issue. You also have 7 potential divergence on a weekly chart. That's a big deal as well. Yeah, and you can see the breakdown on the daily. This looks more bearish than silver, actually. Yeah, it doesn't look great. I could see, let me see something here. Yeah, a pullback down here, 61.8, 78.6 area. So 2,700, 2,670 is where I'd want to consider some longs. This is like a nice support area. Oops. This right below the 61.8, this area right here, 2,700 or so. That's where if I'm bullish on gold, I would look for a reversal in that area and consider buying once I see some decent market structure and momentum reversing. For now, I think it's a little bit high, and I think you can get a better entry. Okay, let's check on the S&P again before I sign off. It looks like Bitcoin's rebounding. Oh, we've got a 7 that came in, and this little fire thing, which normally means a reversal. Yeah. Gotta see what happens. If it's anything like the past 2 days, they should run a massive buy program and just completely reverse it to the upside. And all of this fear is for nothing. But you never know. And this is one of those times where even you have a million different indicators, you're kind of stuck because this is an area where it's a battle zone where the market is just kind of ping-ponging, and it's just going to end up breaking to one side or the other, and then you short or you long the retest. There's normally a retest of some kind, so then you get in on that move. If we go to like a 1 hour, right? So this is kind of your, this is like your zone, right? So if we break down, then you should get at least a retest of this zone, and you can short the retest or exit your longs. And on the other side, if we break out, we should ideally get a retest like here, something like either you hit here, bounce, retest, and then move higher, and you can long here. Or the safer one would be if we break through this midpoint, and then you can get some kind of retest up here, and you enter on 6,000 retest. But by then, it's already kind of rallied a lot, so I would prefer to enter here at like 5,800, 5,850 area. That's kind of the safer way to trade it if you're not already in a position. Okay, that's all I've got. I'm going to try to not stare at the market the rest of the night and get some sleep so then I can wake up early and put together the rest of that report I'm working on, which is different than these streams. The reports, just to be clear, anyone that's confused, that's like long-term view where I'm looking a couple months ahead. And these daily briefs are kind of like the next couple days. That's the big difference. Okay, let's see what happens. Be careful, stay away from leverage, and don't sacrifice your health for this kind of stuff. You know, if you're finding that you can't sleep, have extreme anxiety, that kind of stuff, you're probably over leveraged, or you just have too much money involved, and you should scale back your positions. That's been my experience, personal experience. So consider that. Okay. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I will see you on the site.